Welcome to the True Grime Stories podcast, where in every episode, we'll unravel a new mystery of cleaning business transformation from a grimy mess to a great success. Join me, your host, Jeannie Henderson, as together we dig up cleaning business secrets that you've been dying to know. Welcome, everyone. We are back with another exciting episode of True Grime Stories. You're going to love meeting our guests today. I'm excited to welcome Rhydon and Amy Mays, some friends of mine who have been in the cleaning industry since 2002. Their business, Amy's Green Cleaning, is in Sawtee, Nacoochee, Georgia. I had to have them explain to me how to say that. But they have built a great business in a rural community, which a lot of people, say, hey, it's really hard to build a business in a rural community, but wait till you hear what Amy and Rhydon have accomplished. They started out as a small home-based company, and now they serve nearly 300 recurring clients, and they employ 25 staff members. So they have really grown a great business. Their guiding principle is the most important client is the one we are servicing right now. And they have spent a lot of time working on their business, their cleaning methods, and their team's work ethic. So Amy and Rhydon are grateful for their success, and they're going to share a lot about that with us today. So welcome, my friends, Amy and Rhydon.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, excited to have you here. So Amy and Rhydon and I met, what year was that?
It was 2000. It was right before 2000, right at the end of COVID.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So it's been like 2.5 years maybe, right?
Yes.
And we have a mutual friend who introduced us. So they're in Georgia, I'm in Michigan, and one of their friends who lives here in Michigan introduced us. And right away, I could tell that they had success in their veins. They were going to build a great business. They already had a great business at that point, but they also had some challenges. So that's what we want to talk about now. We call it, in our True Grime Stories podcast, we call it your grime scene. So when I met you, what did your business look like? And what were some of the challenges that you were dealing with? Either of you just jump in.
All right. You want to go?
Sure. So, that's a great question, Jeannie. And it's a little open-ended because we know that in business, every day when your feet hit the floor, there's a list of problems you're going to have to solve that day. But probably the biggest thing for me, from my perspective, for our business, was definitely that we didn't have any growth. After about 7 years, we had this plateau that we just couldn't leap over. And I knew we had to create more business, but I just didn't know how. And the only marketing we had was word of mouth. And that didn't cut it for us, which is why we plateaued off. And so for me, that was probably one of the biggest challenges was getting our business to a place where we could grow and continue to service our community in a good way like that. Yeah.
Yes. And when I look at that back when we started, it was constantly, the overturn of, people coming in and out of the door and, not being able to keep anybody. And they were all subcontractors. And it just got to the point where we were employing so many people that we couldn't really get away with that anymore. We were kind of like the finger was being shook at us. I don't know how long you could stay in that gray area is what they would tell us. And we'd be like, okay, but because we were having them wear our shirts and, use our products. And so, they were not subcontractors, they were employees, but we could not figure out how to deal with employee taxes and, and all of that, workman's comp, and how are we going to afford to do any of that? It was just, so we plateaued, we had 80 clients. We couldn't get over that hump. And then we had people coming in and out and just, wanting to find better jobs because we couldn't really offer them benefits or anything like that because we were just, there was nowhere else for us to go. But at the same time, we felt like we had a really good business platform and we were going to franchise our business at the time. And so we had a lot to learn.
Yeah. And that's when we met. I remember talking about that. And it's really hard when you get stuck at this one point and you can't figure out how to go forward. And if you stay there, you're actually going backward. The value of the dollar goes down every day. So if you're going to stay at this one level, your business is shrinking at that point. And I understand that frustration. And we hear that a lot from people who get stuck. What was your life like as you're trying to run this business?
Oh boy. We had constant problems with trying to just make ends meet. We were just living paycheck to paycheck, and there was no rhyme or reason. It was just like we would be out in the field working, and we'd come home, and then we'd get up and do it again. And it was just like the money would come in and then it would go out. The money would come in and then it would go out. And it was just it was absolute chaos, in my opinion. But that's what we knew. That is what we knew. Mm-hmm. That's all we knew.
Yeah. And I agree. We were both working very hard out in the field, trying to raise a young family. We had soccer and school and all those things that we have. And it really put a lot of pressure on us. We were just unhappy, Jeannie. And,
we felt the solution was to get more business too. We felt like just more. We just need more clients and then we'll make more money. But that wasn't the case at all.
Right.
Yeah. And that's not why we got into business to start with.
That's right.
Right. The business is supposed to help us have a better life. And what we end up finding is that we're the worst boss we could ever have. Right.
Right.
Right. We work for almost nothing. We work all hours. We're slave drivers to ourselves as entrepreneurs. And, and then you realize that something had to change. So, and we just had that chance meeting. Mm-hmm. Right. And I shared with you about cleaning business fundamentals. And I remember you thought about it for a little while. What was going through your mind?
Well, like I said, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say, let me intercede here because I was the skeptic. Amy kept showing me this cleaning business profits Facebook page, and she kept reading over it and showing it to me. And I said, that's just really a lot of money, honey. I just don't know how we're going to afford to do that. And I really was a skeptic about it. And boy, was I wrong. And so I think that in hindsight, we probably would have moved on it much quicker had I known the benefits that were going to be created from this coaching platform. And so, it was a challenge for me, and I always felt like we had to throw money at the problem to make it better. And so that's where my skepticism came in. I thought, we just can't keep throwing money at these things. And, but boy, did I get educated, So yeah, that was the biggest thing for me was just seeing, being able to cut that check and see the results. And boy, was I wrong. So I'll admit that every day to my wife.
Well, it was great to, watch you both, though, jump in with both feet and, start learning and making changes to your business. So what is one of those changes that you learned about and you made to your business that really kind of helped you, make a big difference in your business?
So the first thing we did was we learned how to make our subcontractors, turn them into employees. So that was the first thing that had to happen. And so once I found out that that you were offering solutions to all of my problems, I was, it was both feet in. Okay. So that was the first thing we tackled. And then
a lot of people, if I can stop you there, that's terrifying for many cleaning business owners who I talk with.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah. And I think it was probably scary for you as well. Like, how do we go from here to here? And so if you can talk just a little bit about that subcontractor thing, because I do think there are a lot of people in the industry who think that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to have subcontractors. But when you get to be a business of a certain size, then the IRS rule really does start to apply.
Yes.
Well, yeah. And I can tell you, so here in this state, in Georgia, it wasn't necessarily the IRS as much as it was the state, specifically the Workers' Compensation Board, right? So we started getting letters from the Workers' Compensation Board, wanting to know if, who all was paid as an employee, and so that gray area got black real quick. And so with y'all's advice from CBF and the advice of my CPA, that was the first thing we implemented. And we got the workers' compensation policy. And Jeannie, I kid you not, it wasn't probably 3 months after we had everybody as employee and we've had our workers' compensation. We actually had to file a claim. We had a girl run off a road that was in her vehicle. She had cochlear implants, and we were very concerned that that there could have been damage done to that. And thank goodness that we had made that change, because if not, we would probably be sitting here right now. That would have been enough.
Goodness. Yeah. Wow. So that's amazing. Yeah. Goosebumps on that one. That's like, whew.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then I would say the next thing that we did is get out of the field, stop working, out in the field, stop cleaning. And that, helped us to be able to do everything else we needed to do in order to change pretty much everything in our business that we thought was right. But,
so why were you still in the field? What was the number one reason you were still in the field after all that time?
Because there was constant call outs, people not showing up, people, the culture, maybe, I hired people. When I used to hire people, I used to say, you don't want to do this your whole life. Come on in and, just stay, let this be like a job that, because nobody wants to clean for their whole life. And so I always thought, and I would hire people, under the pretenses that they're going to school and they're going to do something better. I never really thought about people being lifetime cleaners and people loving to clean. And so, I had a whole perspective change, on that. And so me, working in the field, that was a result of that, constantly needing to, people just were like, well, I just, I don't feel like going to work today. I'm going to call out. Or, they, didn't take the job very seriously, I guess, or they were doing other things. And so, it was, like I said, everything in my business had to change, and my mindset had to change, most importantly.
Yeah, I think that, really jumped out at me in what you were just saying. What you believe about your business and about the job that you're providing people comes true. Absolutely. Whatever you believe, that's what your business becomes. So if you believe your business is always going to be chaotic and that nobody will want to be converted to an employee, then that's where it's going to stay. Or if you believe that nobody would ever want to have cleaning as a career, or that they would enjoy that, then that just keeps going. So the mindset shift sounds like the big thing that was the big change for you guys.
Absolutely.
Definitely. And I can touch in on that a little bit too. My mindset, as I'm working in the field and I'm trying to figure out ways for me to get out of the field to be able to work on the business, was that I was concerned that we were going to get complaints and that, we were not going to live up to the clients we did have up to their expectations. And so, every day, I'd say to myself, okay, I'm going to the office. I'm going to work on some marketing. I'm going to watch, these modules that I've just looked at with Debbie Sardone, and I end up going out in the field. I say, I'm just going to go check on so-and-so. And the next thing you know, I'm gone all day out in the field, still doing the same thing, looking at quality issues. And, one thing that CBF taught me is consistency over quality. And it took me a minute to learn that, but that was just part of the process for me, was to learning to let go of things in the field.
Yep. Yeah. Well, and that's a huge thought process shift. And as you were telling that story, I remember those days where I thought, if we were going to have good quality, I have to be out there. I have to be supervising and watching. And it was all about quality. It wasn't about training the team to be consistent.
That's right.
And that is a huge shift to go from thinking we have to be the best all the time, perfect, to if we can just provide consistent service and,
That's right.
exceed expectations, we're going to do great.
Right.
That's right.
So that mindset shift, what are some of the other areas where like you realize that like you were kind of standing in the way of your growth?
Yeah. So, I guess another thing for me, as far as me getting in my own way, was really taking the time to not, the implementation of CBF was never a problem for my wife and I. We probably grew too fast. We really
did implement very, very quickly. I was on that journey with you guys. I remember. Yeah.
And so learning how to stabilize was very important. And so that's what we've done really over probably the last 18 months. But even during that process, I'm thinking, man, this is great. We're doing really good. But what happens is, and you'll hear a lot of the coaches in CBF talk about this, when you have rapid growth like that, you also have rapid expenses. And the next thing you know, when you do hit a lull or a peak, as Debbie talks about, you're in trouble. And so learning how to stabilize, learning how to grow at that proper rate has been a big challenge, but also something that we've learned to embrace as a company. And it's been very important in the process. So.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, and that growth, that rapid growth, I mean, our foundation was not really strong. And so what we found is that, everything that we learned by doing cleaning business fundamentals, it works really, really well. And so, but you've got to, slow and steady wins the race. So, but like I said, I'm one of those doers. And I had, somebody who was helping me implement it really quickly. And it was actually turned out to be somebody that I really didn't need to be putting a lot of faith into. And that person needed to go. And so then, in the last, year, we've been really, we basically started over and just really, worked on everything and got everything really, really strong. And so it's been that's what that stabilization period has been for us. So, trusting the right people, to bring into your company is another big thing that we've learned in the last, since, even just the beginning, just bringing the wrong people in and so, and just having a community that, and talking to other people in the industry and knowing that, we're not the only ones, that kind of stuff happens to has
definitely not.
Just so valuable to us to be able to have a community to lean on. So.
Yeah. And people will let you down. It's, businesses are made of people, and people don't always fully represent themselves, when they're working in your business, but after time, their true personalities come out and, they can't hide it anymore. So, but it's been, I know it was hard going through that when you had that big staff change, but you also did it with, such grace. And I know you leaned into our community as you were going through that, because almost everyone has some major employee loss at some time, as an entrepreneur.
Yes.
It's something you just have to know it's probably going to happen at some point. Somebody's going to disappoint you. Right. But
well, let me just say this, one thing that Debbie told me after this happened, that I have written down and posted in several places in my life, is that this person did not make you succeed, nor will they make you fail. And I live by that mantra, and it helps me to be able to trust people again, because it took a lot of wind out of ourselves, but in hindsight, it was probably the best thing that ever happened to us.
Best thing that ever happened to us. It was the best because, I'm a better business owner today because of it. I'm a better, boss. I'm a better human because of it. So, it's been, I can actually say thank you to that person now.
Wow. That's great. Well, I think this is a great place for us to just pause for a moment. You shared so many great things that have happened in your business and changes. And we've been talking a lot about CBF. So let's stop here and hear a little bit more about cleaning business fundamentals. Is your cleaning business a grime story? There's no need to stay stuck in the muck because you're not alone. With over 500 active members and more than 500 graduates of our Cleaning Business Fundamentals program, CBF is the #1 cleaning business academy in the world and has created more mop-free millionaires than any program in the industry. Learn more and let CBF take your residential cleaning business from a grime story to a gleaming success. Well, we're back here with Rhydon and Amy Mays, the owners of Amy's Green Cleaning. And I'm not going to try to say the name of your town again. I have the name in front, but they're in Georgia, and they've been sharing some great changes that they've made in their business. And they went through a bit of a challenge. And I'm glad that you brought that up, because the story that you shared, Rhydon, about your mindset shift, and Amy too, that when bad things happen, they're actually opportunities to grow. Yes. You know, that's such a big mindset shift, because, you know, I'm sure we all see people that are like, oh, woe is me, this bad thing happened to me. But what did you learn through that process? You were saying that you're a stronger business owner now.
It was interesting because it was, we had a lot of people step up and just kind of tell us, you know, their opinion. And the best advice that we got was not to focus on this person, because this person really deceived us and started their own cleaning company like while they were working for us. And so with that, I wanted to go after them initially, you know, and because they signed all these non-competes. And then it was just like somebody said, you know, you could spend your time, you know, going after her and, you know, doing all of that. But, you know, why not spend the time on making your business even better? Because there's always going to be competition out there. It was just like, you know, my fear was, you know, I just had to refocus, you know, my whole perspective on making me better, making me more motivated to make my business shine. And so in doing that, I learned, I got more pride in myself, and I stood with my head tall, you know, held high. And I was just really, you know, I got to work, and everything that person that I felt like that person was doing for me, I got in there and did it all. And it just made me even more strong at, you know, and have more faith in my abilities as a business owner.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, and I think that really a lot to do with that is really boils down to Amy and I and our core values that we have with our family and with our business. And one of our core values in our business is gratitude. And when you can find the gratitude in those things that are challenging, you know, it's kind of like when you go to the grocery store and you pay the cashier for the milk, and you take the milk and they take the money and you say, thank you. It ends the transaction. So when you can get to that place of gratitude, you don't have to look back at it anymore. You can look forward and continue to grow and work on yourself. Yeah. It's very important.
Well, that's a great lesson to all of us as business owners. Bad things are going to happen, but they can be, you know, a great learning opportunity. And a lot of times I like to think of it as kind of like a slingshot effect. Like it's like something that had to happen and your business is being pulled back a little bit, but then that slingshot lets go. And, you know, I just showed a picture in the CBF announcement there of several people on the stage wearing green jackets. And yes, I had the joy of being there with you on the day when you received your green jacket, when your business exceeded the $1 million mark. What was that like?
Oh boy, it was a huge accomplishment for us, because it just it spoke volumes of what we're capable of, you know, and made us, you know, it opened up a whole world of just you know, what's next? You know, if we can do this, what's next? And look at all these other people around us that are doing the same thing, and how amazing we get to lean on this community. It just, it it felt so amazing to just be up there with those amazing people. So
yeah, it was without question one of the most surreal moments in my life. And, the one thing that I took from CBF, is now I felt like I was in a place that I could help other people and help other business owners. And it's in us helping other business owners that we learn. Right. It's always a back and forth. And I could see that, with everybody that was wearing the green jackets, with everybody that was out on the floor, that was working towards their green jackets, and realized then at that point, in that moment, that it wasn't so much about how CBF was going to help me, but how I was going to help other members of CBF.
Yeah. And so you have gone through the CBF program. How long have you been in? Like 2.5 years?
yes.
We've been in 2.5 years, and we've been in pros now. We're going to come in our second year of pros. We kind of leaped through fundamentals and through momentum. And
right, because of when you joined, you didn't have like a full year in momentum, but you went through momentum. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right. That's correct. So, but again, a part of that was the accelerated growth that we experienced, and that can be a good thing or a bad thing. You got to be, So, but again, it's all just been a learning curve, and we have held on to the Cleaning Business Fundamentals community very tightly, and it has been wonderful. So we are so excited to continue this journey with Cleaning Business Fundamentals. If you look behind Amy, there, it says CBF for life, and by the way, and that's where we are. So we're very excited for what the future holds, for sure.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, in the Cleaning Business Fundamentals program, it's an ascension program. When you start out, you're in a program called CBF Essentials. In the second year, as you grow, we have an ascension program, and that second step is called momentum. And then once your business reaches 500,000 or more, you can graduate into CBF Pros. And our business owners have been growing and growing and growing their businesses so much, we came up with another level called CBF Elite for members whose businesses are at 1.5 million or more. So it's been fun watching you guys leapfrog through the program and growing your business so rapidly, and fun to celebrate with you. It just, it's the power of community, and you don't really know you need it until you're in it.
Ooh.
That's
right.
I like that.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And then you're like, how did I ever live without this in my business? Right. Yep. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing. So where you're at now is a great place. You've built a great business. You're, $1 million business. You're leaders in our CBF community. What's the future hold for Rhydon and Amy and Amy's Green Cleaning?
I think, like I mentioned before, I'm really looking forward to helping other members of CBF. And I often, I give myself enough time to get on the platform, on some of the Facebook pages and things like that, and just put in, my opinion or my experience. I feel like, CBF has taught me that, through sharing my experiences with other cleaning business owners, then I'm able to in turn learn from that, like I spoke on earlier. So as far as the future for us, I think we're going to continue just on that CBF path and continue to help other business owners and to be able to help ourselves.
And so, and with me, it's all about motivating my team. I have this incredible team right now who wants to grow with the company, and I get so excited just to motivate them, and to I'm a leader to them, and they look to me. And so it's all about, up leveling my skills as a business owner, and, helping them to, want to continue to do better for themselves and for their families, and, and to just continue, they want to continue to pour into the company as opposed to, going out and doing something else. So they're, motivated to, put into Amy's Green Cleaning and, become better at everything that they do. So that's inspiring and exciting for me.
Yeah, well, and you really pour into your team. I have seen Amy and Rhydon like throw great celebrations with their team, and you even like went whitewater rafting, I think, with your team one time, right? So how wonderful is that to be able to pour into your team? And how has your life changed personally, like when it comes to free time and financially?
Whew. Everything's changed.
Well, yeah, I would say free time has definitely expanded. But, to be honest, Jeannie, every morning when my feet hit the floor, I'm just so excited to work, to work on my business and not in it, to see our employees excel. And, just last week, we had 2 of our employees who went out and bought brand new cars,
Yes.
Isn't that fun?
Yes. Yeah. Incredible. And then we just got a hot tub. So I'm excited for my hot tub, and I drive a beautiful car, and, I'm just, and I have to be careful because I get, I'm worthy of these things, and sometimes I get a little, I don't want people to see how well I'm doing but I mean, I've worked really, really hard, and I deserve these things. So I've been really kind of going through a little bit of self-worth stuff around, the growth and the monetary growth that we've had. It's been, I never thought that we would be in the place that we are at today. And, we're able to, give back to our communities, and, our business gives back to the community. We clean, cancer patients' homes for free. I mean, it's just, and then I'm a part of Chamber of Commerce's, and, and I have, Amy's Green Cleaning is out there, sponsoring, different events and things like that. It's just, I never thought that my business would be able to be something like that I would have time to do stuff like that outreach. So it's incredible.
Oh my gosh. I just absolutely love hearing that for you too. I'm so happy for you both. And I think it's inspiring for everyone watching and listening today, because there are a lot of people out there who are where you were when you first got started. What a big shift from where you were then to where you are today. And just in, just over 2 years, you've completely transformed your business and your life and the lives of so many people. I love your mindset shift of, oh, this isn't a job you want to do forever, to I'm creating a great job and building, a place where people can build a career. So congratulations to you both.
Thank you. You're an inspiration to us, and we just are so grateful.
Yeah, me too. I love helping you, but I also just get so much from watching you grow, and I learn as I'm, helping others. So it's been great. Well, thank you for being part of our True Grime Story podcast. Love hearing where you've come from your grime scene to now being a great success. So thank you both for being here today.
Thank you, Jeannie. Thank you.
You're welcome. And if you're watching or listening to this today and you want to learn more about how Rhydon and Amy achieved their success in cleaning business fundamentals, I would love to talk with you. There's a link in our show notes today. Feel free to reach out to me, and let's talk about your business and how you can go from being a grimy mess to a great success. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you, Jeannie. Bye-bye.
Is your team culture helping your business grow or holding you back? If you have a great culture now, will it remain positive even if you're not in your business every day? If these questions hit home, it's time to discover Culture Magic, a proven recipe and system for building a positive, thriving team culture that runs strong, even when you step away. Click the link in the show notes to learn more about Culture Magic today. Your dream team is possible, and it starts with Culture Magic. That's a wrap on today's True Grime Stories. Thanks for joining us in uncovering the secrets of cleaning business success. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and download, and check out our show notes for links and info from today's episode, and to learn more about our sponsor, Cleaning Business Fundamentals. Join us next time as we solve another True Grime story.